This is the ELS meeting number 261 for this day of March, 10th March. My name is Willie Majola. I am the chairperson of this meeting. I am also a full-time regulator for electricity. So I would like to welcome the members of the regulator, as well as all the teams from within the regulator, as well as everybody who is joining us here on the live stream. Before we proceed any further, I would also like to invite members of the regulator to greet everybody present. And I would therefore like to start by calling upon Mr. Bukula.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, everyone, and thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Bukula. Then I'm going to call upon Ms. Sitole.
Good morning, Chairperson, members, and everyone who has joined us for this ELS meeting this morning. Thank you, Chair.
And then I'm going to call upon Ms. Maseti.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning to the members of the Energy Regulator and everyone who is following today's meeting proceedings. Thank you.
I would also call upon Mr. Mkize.
Good morning, Chairperson, fellow members of the subcommittee, management and staff of NERSA, as well as the members of the public following us through the various live streaming platforms. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Ms. Semane.
Morning, Chair. Morning to our ER colleagues and NERSA colleagues, as well as the members of the public. Thanks.
Thank you. The agenda has been circulated, so I'm going to ask the members to show by show of hands if they are in support of the agenda. I see Ms. Simane, Ms. Maseti, Mr. Pukula, Ms. Sitole, and myself. Thank you for that. And Mr. Mkize. So thank you for that. The agenda is adopted. And then we're going to...
Chair, apologies to interject. For the benefit of the public, Chair, given that the agenda was published, can we just announce that item 7 has been moved from public to governance? Thank you,
All
Chair.
right. No, oh, thank you, Mr. Mabunda. Definitely, item number 7 is still on the agenda, but you are moving it from this portion of the live stream. We are going to put it under governance. That is item number 7, which is the transmission compliance and enforcement audit plan. Thank you. And then with that, I'm now going to move on to the declaration of interest. The members can send the forms that were circulated to them to the Secretariat. But however, if any member would like to make a verbal declaration in the meeting right now, they then have an opportunity to do so. I do not see any hands for a verbal declaration. So we are now going to move on to the first item on the agenda, which is to do with Upongolo Local Municipality Report, which is in terms of Section 33 of the Act. And I'm going to call upon Mr. Rulani Matebula and his team to take us through this item. Thank you.
Chairperson, good morning, and good morning to the members of the subcommittee, as well as my colleagues, NERSA colleagues, and everyone who's following us on live stream. Chair, the report before you, it's obviously a report that talks to the inspection that has been or an audit that has been conducted at the licensee, which is Umpongolo local municipality. And Chair, the submission indicates a number of interventions since 2021, which the team had interacted with this particular licensee. And it also talks to some of the concerns that were brought to the attention of the energy regulator by stakeholders within that particular municipality. So, Chair, I would ask that Mr. Morris give the members a bit of detail around this particular submission and the reports that are also attached with an intention, Chair, that we can request to the members of the subcommittee to recommend this report to the energy regulator. If I can hand over to Morris, Chair. Thanks.
Good morning, Chairperson, members of the energy regulator, and my fellow colleagues at NERSA. Okay, the submission before you is actually for Pongolo, just like the EAM has already alluded. The investigation came about when NERSA received correspondence from AfriForum, and AfriForum sought clarity on the challenges that the municipality, which is Upongolo, that was faced with. And this was specifically on the quality of service and quality of supply. Just a small background, Chair. A compliance audit was done and non-compliance were noted by the ELS in 2022. And then the outcome of that audit was that the municipality must submit a corrective action plan, of which this corrective action plan was not submitted to NERSA. However, the requirement of the corrective action plan had since been replaced after the distribution framework has been revised. And then now it requires that members of the energy regulator sit as a tribunal and come with a decision. So in terms of the delegation authority, I think I can say in terms of section 5.4.3 of the ELS terms of reference, the ELS has the authority to consider and recommend to the energy regulator for approval any other matter which is not convened in terms of these terms of reference, but it is in the Electricity Regulation Act. So, Chairperson, just on the observations and the findings that are on the report, which is also attached on the submission, I would like just to highlight a few of those findings before I mention the recommendation to the energy regulator. So, Upongolo is non-compliant with its license to operate a distribution facility, specifically the electricity distribution license condition 5.3.1, which provides that Upongolo shall supply electricity to its consumers in compliance with quality of standards like your NRS 048 and the NRS 047. And then the license condition 5.32, which states that Upongolo should prepare and adhere to plans which protects customers and ensure the effectiveness of the industry, such as the maintenance schedules. And then it also requires that inquiries and complaints management be handled. Chairperson, the budget for electricity infrastructure of Upongolo, if any, is not being utilized to fund repairs and maintenance. And this one is against Section 5.2.7 of the electricity distribution license, which states that Upongolo needs to ensure that all monies budgeted for statutory national electricity regulator purposes in the licensees' budget are utilized for such purposes. Chairperson, the purpose for this submission is for the electricity subcommittee to note the content of the inspection report conducted in terms of Section 33 of the Electricity Regulation Act and recommend the report to the energy regulator for approval. With that, Chairperson, I submit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm now going to call upon the members of the regulator if they've got any questions or any contributions or any enhancements to the presentation that has just been made. And so let's start with Ms. Maseti.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thank you to the team that conducted these inspections and investigations. Chairperson, I would like to start off with the purpose as well as the recommendations. The nature of my comment on it is twofold. One is the nature of the decision that is required, and secondly, it touches also on the governance process or regulatory process when we deal with matters of this nature. Before us is the outcome of the non-compliance findings out of audits that were conducted some years ago and also recently, and there were also inspections done. Now, the fact of the matter is that we are today considering the non-compliance findings of that intervention by the regulator. And it is not the first time that in this committee or even in other subcommittees such as the REC, that we consider the outcomes or the findings of non-compliance out of audits done or out of inspections that are done. Now, the first recommendation that says that the subcommittee is requested to note the content of the inspections. I suggest that we then change it, that the subcommittee be requested to take note of the findings of non-compliance that were against or by Upongolo municipality. And then we can deal with the other things. That's the first thing. So we are noting the findings of non-compliance. And secondly, we should then be recommending to the energy regulator to then take a decision to sit as a tribunal in terms of Section 18 of the Electricity Regulation Act. That is the second decision that I am suggesting that we take. Paragraph 3.1, the reason why I'm raising this and the framing of the substantive decision that must be taken is because paragraph 3.1 is not accurate. It cannot be that the very work that we have done previously, even in this committee, when we looked at Cedarburg matter versus Clarkson Power, that report and investigation, it also came as a result of inspections that were done. And we found instances of non-compliance. And this committee noted those findings and the legal framing of the findings. And then the matter was then referred to the regulator based on those findings. So I am therefore of the view that 3.1 that is cited there is not appropriate. We should follow the delegated authority that then requires the ELS to note the findings of non-compliance. Firstly, and also to recommend to the energy regulator to sit as a tribunal in order to issue a notice of non-compliance. That is the first thing, because it is not the first time that we are dealing with the very same issues that we are dealing with today. Then, Chairperson, I'm moving on to page 3 of the covering submission. All of the paragraphs there, 4.1, 4.2, and the others there. Yes, I see that they are background, but I want to understand, given the time period that has elapsed, some of those findings of non-compliance date back to 2020 and 2021. My question is, are we including these findings for purposes of showing continuous non-compliance conduct on the part of Upongolo, or we are stating that these findings, because they are still not corrected? In other words, this is the continuous conduct of Upongolo on the issues that are mentioned in paragraph 4.2, 4.3, and so forth. So is this continuous conduct? Is Pongolo still doing these things that are in these 2 paragraphs, for instance? Or are we showing them just to show it's a persistent conduct of not complying with the laws, the rules and the standards and so forth? That's all from my side, Chairperson. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Ms. Maseti. And now I call upon Mr. Bukula.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I agree with the recommendations made by Ms. Maseti. That first, I think we note whatever needs to be noted, but the second recommendation is that we recommend that the energy regulator sets up a tribunal for this. I may be bastardizing those recommendations, but I agree with the recommendations Ms. Maseti has made. For me, I also want to go to the section that deals with legal considerations. If I can start with 4.26, I don't want to get into that, but 4.26 doesn't say much. And if we are going to write it, we have had this request that we can't be saying we are duty bound. There's a certain way in which you write these things, and we can't be repeating it. We had said it before that it gets written this way, but today we are repeating the same. Something has to be done, Mr. Majola and Mr. Matebula. We can't be repeating the same thing. If you go to 4.27 and all of that, it's not clear what is required. And you go to the part of that section, the one that takes us from section 18, section whatever. Which section really are we using to do this? And let's just stick to that section. For me, I would really prefer that we completely rewrite and rephrase this, because we know that these documents are discoverable. And when we write like this, we are not going to be helping ourselves if Pongolo municipality challenges this, or if anyone else reviews this. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Bukula. So can I now ask Mr. Matebula and the team to respond to what the members have said?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Yeah, I think I will start with the last one, with the issue of going through the document with a fine-tooth comb, and especially dealing with the legal analysis as was indicated. We will work on that, Chair, and ensure that it's corrected before this report serves in the next committee, depending on what the outcome of the recommendations will be today. And the issue of 3.1, Chair, I will engage RSU immediately after today's engagement to properly guide us as well on that, so that we can correct that even for future submissions. We appreciate, Chair, the recommendations, the enhancement on recommendations, and I think we will also consider as well in our future reports to ensure that our recommendations are on point. And I think we will also make reference to the same when we present this at ER. Chair, I would like Mr. Mkhize and team, Mr. Mkhize Jr. and team, to just talk to the matter of the inspection that was done in 2021 and the findings thereof, and whether the relevance of showing it here and presenting here today, it is aimed at displaying this continuous non-compliance by the municipality, or for what purpose is it brought to this meeting? So I would ask Mr. Mkhize Jr. and the team to just respond to that item, Chair, then we can hand over back to you. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Matebula. Good morning to Chair, members, and staff of NERSA. Thank you, Chair. This was part of the background, so there's twofold. The reason we have included it is for two reasons. Number one is just to show where we came from with this municipality from 2020 when we did the desktop audit during COVID, and the same or similar findings were discovered in terms of non-compliance with the standards NRS 047 as well as NRS 048. So, Chair, yes, indeed, we wanted just to show where we come from with this municipality and the continuous non-compliance that we have observed, and hence we are recommending that it be referred to the tribunal finally for the purpose of implementing measures to actually deal with this non-compliance. Thank you, Chair.
Can I then check with the members, Mr. Bukola and Ms. Maseti, if the issues raised have been answered?
Chairperson, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Maseti.
Thank you, Chair. Chairperson, firstly, the response from Mr. Matebula that says that he will engage with RSU after the meeting is not helpful, because we are here today and we need to take a decision. And I've already, based on the matters that we've dealt with before, already indicated how we can tweak the purpose as well as the recommendations for purposes of the decision, just to assist this meeting. And that was supported by Mr. Bukula. So clearly, what needs to then happen is for the team to respond here and now, including RSU, to then tell us the relevant delegated authority in that regard, because this thing is not something that we have not done. We have done it numerous times. We even set in 18 December 2025 as a tribunal based on these kind of recommendations. So it is a delegated authority that should be readily available, and we get RSU to be ready to assist this committee with regards to the relevant section of the delegation matrix, so that we can be able to implement the decision that we have proposed and corrected as the members of the committee, because that is what we say it must be done. Then the second thing, Chairperson, can we get a clear response? I do understand that the person who was in charge of this is off sick, Ms. Vuyelwa Phoswa. But I do expect, because I know this as I was still in the division, I do want to understand with a specific answer here, because that is important for the scope of the non-compliance. Hence, I'm asking the question that the conduct of 2020 that was found in 2020 and the conduct that was found in 2021, for instance, is it still the case today? Or is it something that was rectified? However, you are putting it here just to show this persistent non-compliance by this municipality. The answer should be very clear. It cannot be that we don't know whether this conduct is continuous or this conduct was stopped or these issues have been resolved. The only ones that are remaining for purposes of the decision are the following. Because that is important so that we clarify what is it that we are saying is a non-compliance as of today, the day that we're taking the decision. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Maseti. So, Mr. Rulani, can I ask you then to come in? And then after that, can I also ask somebody from the RSU to come in as well so that you can clarify the delegation of authority? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think I'll allow Mr. Mkhize and team to continue and attempt to respond specifically to the matter that has been raised. Thank
you, Mr. Mathebula. The purpose of what we stipulated in the paragraphs in the background was to show that there has been continuous non-compliance, specifically with regards to the standards, the NRS 047 and 048. Mr. Morris did also allude to the current non-compliances that have also been added or included over and above the NRS 047 and 048. And I would like Mr. Mafuega just to again list those non-compliances which included issues of non-expenditure on maintenance and others. So Mr. Mafuega, if you can just come in and just list those non-compliances over and above the non-compliance, continued non-compliance with NRS 047 and 048. Thanks.
We cannot hear you.
Apologies, Chairperson. I was speaking on a muted mic. Thanks, colleagues. Just to add on what Mr. Mkhize has already said, it is that the response is that this non-compliance is a continuous one. When we got there for the investigation, we happened to find that the non-compliances that were identified in the audit of 2020-2021 we're still there and we're still persistent. So in short, the municipality has since regressed from the findings that we were on the audit reports. So currently it is in a worse condition. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I now invite somebody from RSU just to guide us? If we go back to what Ms. Maseti has proposed, is that we must actually note the findings on non-compliance, and secondly, to recommend to the energy regulator to sit as a tribunal. Can we just double check then with RSU in terms of the delegation, whether those recommendations are in order? I'm not sure who's going to come from RSU, if they're here.
Chairperson, good morning. I'm ready. Yes. Good morning, Chairperson and your members. Ms. Maseti is right that I think this work has been done before, but I was trying to check the delegation matters quickly. I am unable to find the exact clause from the delegation metrics that have been approved in November. But that section 543 is the section that we have it to say, in case we don't find something specific that this committee is supposed to do, the purpose that Ms. Maseti has just talked about and the recommendation that she talked about, they fall within that section to say, when we don't have a specific section that deals specifically with the matter, this committee cannot finalize the matter because it hasn't been specifically delegated. Therefore, the purpose and the recommendation, as Ms. Maseti has alluded to, they have to be done in terms of 543, but we will check whether I was just rushing to check it or whether we didn't put it. That's what I want to say, Chairperson. Therefore, it's the suggestion by Ms. Maseti and Mr. Bugula is correct. Thanks.
Thank you for that. So based on that, I don't think I'm going to repeat what Ms. Maseti said. We having support from the RSU. So on that note then, can I check by show of hands whether the members are in support of the recommendation as suggested by Ms. Maseti in terms of enhancements and also supported by RSU? If you can see by show of hands. I see Ms. Simane, Mr. Pukula, Mr. Mkize, Ms. Sitole, and of course, Ms. Maseti, and myself.
Subject to the extensive changes on the legal analysis before the matter is considered by the ER. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you for that. Thank you for that, definitely. So I see Mr. Choke, your hand is up.
Chairperson, thanks. Ms. Magubane has just actually directed me to the section 552 of the Deputy Matrix actually talks about what Ms. Maseti and Mr. Bugula said. Therefore, the 543 can be on the side and 552 will be the section. But we can direct that. We can talk to colleagues about it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for the clarity. So it's section 552. Thank you. So on that note, then, I think we are going now to move on to the next item, which is number 6, the gazetted electricity transmission infrastructure regulation. Oh, I see Mr. Mkiza, sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Chairperson. Just in hindsight, I'd just like to check if item 6, shouldn't we discuss it under governance? Because everything has been done and it's a matter of reviewing how that was incorporated. Just to check with RSU.
Can we get guidance from RSU on number 6?
Chairperson, thanks. It would seem it's an analysis that has to be done by the energy regulator. It has no effect on the external members. It can be in the governance reports. Thanks, Chairperson.
Governance report. Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Choke. So if that is the case, then we are now going to move to item number 8. Temporary exemption for Umoya Wind Farm. So let me call upon Mr. Matebula and his team once again. Thank you.
Chairperson, thanks again for the opportunity. So the aim of this submission is to request the subcommittee to approve the temporary exemption for Umoya Wind Farm. So, Chair, this particular exemption request was actually presented before the agreed committee, and it was actually approved. And that is the reason why it is today presented before the subcommittee for consideration. So, Chair, I would like to maybe invite Sihle just to share with the members some of the details with regard to this request before we can move to the recommendations, Chair. Thank you.
Greetings to you, Chairperson, members of the regulator, fellow colleagues, and members of the public. Chairperson, this matter is duly dedicated to the subcommittee in terms of clause number 2.1 of the electricity dedication matrix to approve applications from the electricity supply industry requiring exemption to the South African Grid Code. This matter was duly considered by the GCAC on 13 November 2025 and therefore recommended to the energy regulator for approval. In terms of clause requirements, clause 5.2.1 B4 requires that renewable power plants should stay connected to the grid even if the voltage temporarily rises to 120% of the normal level for up to 2 seconds. In terms of Appendix 9, RPPs must be tested every 6 years after starting operation to ensure they still comply with the grid requirements as the electricity network changes. The RPP previously exemption expired in March 2024, and the submission for the extension was only made in October 2025. This is an error on our side where we did not do well in terms of monitoring to ensure that the RPP's submission requests for extension timely before they expire. The summary for the non-compliance aspect of the application as well as the reason for non-compliance and remedial actions are tabulated in Table 3 of this submission. Chairperson, I would like to highlight the following salient points. With respect to Umoya Wind Farm, the delays occurred due to the plant being unable to meet required high voltage write-through and low voltage write-through for grid code compliance due to fixed turbine generator protection settings. As their remedial action, the RPP has initiated a STATCOM feasibility and design study as the only viable long-term solution to achieve compliance. It is therefore recommended, Chairperson, that the Electricity Subcommittee approves the temporary exemption as outlined in Table 4 of this submission, as well as approve the enhanced conditions to this temporary exemption that reads as follows. The first one, the RPP generator must demonstrate through testing or otherwise to the satisfaction of the system operator and the network service provider. The RPP generator's current capability in relation to the exempted code requirements and provide assurance that the capability will be maintained for the duration of the exemption period. Secondly, should the RPP generator's non-compliance with the code requirements necessitate the system operator or the network service provider to curtail or disconnect the RPP generator, no deemed energy payment shall be claimed for the output that was curtailed or disconnected. Lastly, Chairperson, the RPP generator must submit quarterly reports to the NERSA and the Grid Code Secretariat on the progress made to achieve compliance. Reports shall be submitted to NERSA Grid Code team at nersa.org.za and gcm@eskom.co.za. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can I then call upon the members of the regulator if they've got any questions or contributions or enhancements? Thank you. Mr. Pukula.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I am in support of the recommendations as given. But what I would like to request is that going forward, if we are going to be saying, for instance, in 5.1 or 5.2, if we are going to be saying it's NERSA analysis, let's have an analysis. If we do not have something to analyze, if the presenter, when he was presenting, he mentioned a few things that should be part of the analysis. But what is written here is not an analysis. Either we don't have it, or we have a proper analysis like the presenter gave in his. So I'm suggesting that 5.1 and 5.2 and 3 and 4, either we remove them completely because we're not saying anything, or we put in that analysis around the implications of granting this extension and what we'll be doing. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Bukola, and then Mr. Mkize.
Thanks, Chairperson, and thanks to Mr. Manchinchi for the presentation. Just on the issue of tracking the exemptions, I think it will help, Chair, not necessarily to say we should come to this platform per se, but that we do a tracking of all these exemptions as to maybe by way of some reporting, whether it's quarterly or I'll say maybe every semester, so to say, of the status of these exemptions. When are they supposed to be finalized, or when are they lapsing, and what's going to happen next, so that we don't have the same kind of a problem that we've experienced here. I know that they're supposed to submit those quarterly reports, but we need to have something that then tracks as part of monitoring and enforcement on our side to avoid what has happened with this one. Otherwise, I'm supportive. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkize. And then let me ask then Mr. Machebula and his team to respond.
Yeah, Chair, indeed. Thanks for that. Yeah, I think the comments, Chair, are well received, and I think we will rework on this 5.1 as indicated. I had wanted to invite Mr. Shozi and Vuyiswa just to talk to two issues, Chair. One is obviously how these tracking exemptions are currently managed at the grid committee itself, and Mr. Shozi just to talk to the issue of how we plan to keep the committee up to date with regard to these exemptions going forward. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, EM. Good morning to you, Chair and members. Yes, I think from my side, we just dropped the ball there. We used to provide a report on the status of exemption in the past 2 years or so. I think going forward, having seen what is the implication of discontinuing that project, we will then going forward bring those reports just to keep the members updated on the status of the exemptions that have been granted and the implication thereof. Yeah, I think that's what I would say, that the project we used to do it, we discontinued for reasons that are not known, but we will reinstate the project. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Can I just double check with the members of the regulator if they've been answered by the team?
Covered. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. On that note, then, I think we need to move towards recommendations. So, subject to the enhancement of section 5.1, which is to do with the analysis, if the team is going to then amend the recommendation so that it's going to be clear what analysis has been done. If that be the case, then can we then move to vote on the recommendations. I think the recommendations is there in paragraph 14.1, 14.2 of the submissions. So on that note, then can I see by a show of hands if the members are in support of the recommendation? I see Ms. Maseti, Ms. Semane, Mr. Pukula, Ms. Sitole, Mr. Mkize, and myself. Thank you. So on that note, then we are now going to move on to the next item, number 9, customer education programs. Once again, let me call Mr. Matebula and his team.
Chairperson, thanks once again. So, Chair, we brought this report here just to share with the members of the subcommittee and request that the members note the outcome of some of the activities that has been conducted in the previous or in this particular financial year that is coming to an end. Chair, I would like to also indicate that in the recent past, we have shared 2 specific documents. One was the procedure where we were revising the procedure that guides us on conducting this customer education. And secondly, Chair, in the last meeting, we presented and requested approval for the program of the new year. So, Chair, today we just wanted to share the report in terms of the work that has been done for this particular year that is coming to an end this month. So, Chair, I just want to ask Mr. Ntwalo Maluleke just to share with the committee some of the details before we can consider the recommendations, Chair. Thank you.
Chairperson, in the absence of Ms. Maluleke, I would just like to highlight some of the pertinent points with regards to this submission, Chair. We are here to request the Electricity Subcommittee to note the progress and outcomes of the customer education program, which is aimed at improving public understanding of electricity regulation, customer rights, as well as energy efficiency. So, Chair, in hindsight, we want to just highlight the fact that we have done there were 75 programs that were planned. However, 84 were conducted due to successful collaborations with various stakeholders. Chair, activities also included 40 workshops, 25 roadshows, 8 exhibitions, as well as 11 radio interviews. Chair, we are also happy to say that the total audience that was reached was around 9,134 attendees for the radio stations. I beg your pardon, the estimated radio listenership was 1.8 million, Chair, and the attendees that came to the various workshop was around 9,134. So, Chair, yes, we did focus mainly on workshops, exhibitions, roadshows, as well as radio interviews. Chair, at the various engagements, the key issues that were raised were issues of electricity theft, to train and teach people against what the outcomes of electricity theft are, as well as issues of quality of service. We also spoke about issues of load reduction as well as power outages. We also touched on issues of unaffordable tariffs. We educated on fixed charges as well as the inclining block tariffs that have been done away with in the previous RTP of ESCOM. We also dealt with challenges with free basic electricity, educating people that they have got rights if they qualify to access FBE. Chair, we also looked at issues of electrification delays in some areas, as well as how meter box faults can be reported with the local authorities. Chair, in terms of financial implications, there was a total expenditure of around 766,124, which also included catering, as well as radio slots that we mentioned earlier. Chair, some of the challenges was poor attendance in some of the areas due to weather and mobilization issues. Also included there are also transport issues. There was also issues of language barrier and misinformation about NESA's role, as well as limited buy-in from local authorities and licensees. Chair, going forward, this is what we recommend. We recommend improved feedback mechanisms, as well as stakeholder collaboration, expansion of the outreach to rural and peri-urban areas. We're also looking to simplify IBT guidelines and promote customer responsibilities, advocate for increased FBE units and standardized qualification criteria throughout the various jurisdictions in South Africa. We also recommend that we need to investigate load reduction concerns and improve public hearing accessibility, Chair. As we know, most public hearings have been held online. So, we just want to recommend that our public hearings should be more accessible. Chair, in conclusion, the customer education programs have successfully empowered customers, improved compliance, and fostered trust between NESA and its stakeholders. However, there are challenges such as misinformation, affordability issues, and limited collaboration, highlighting the need for sustained and inclusive education initiatives. So, Chair, as Mr. Matebula has said, there are initiatives to continuously improve the function of customer education within NESA. As said, there is efforts to even include feedback forms after various engagements, so that we get feedback from customers in terms of how the session was conducted. So, Chair, going to the recommendations in section 14, it is recommended that the ELS notes the consolidated report for customer education programs for the period from 1 April 2025 to the 31st of March 2026. Thank you, Chair. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I'm going now to invite members of the regulator for questions or comments or any issues that might like to raise. Yes, Ms. Sitole.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thanks to Mr. Mkhize Jr. for the presentation. Mine is just to make a suggestion to enhance our public hearing processes, because I've noted that one of the issues that have been raised in the customer education sessions is the issue of not having public hearings in rural areas. And I just thought that in the interaction of our customer officers with members of the public, maybe they should also try and solicit ways as to how they can be reached, such that those suggestions are taken into account and we put them into our public hearing programs, or they should also be part of the development of the programs when we are going out on public hearings, so that we can be able to reach as many people as we can, including those that are in the rural areas. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. And then I'm going to call upon Madam Simane.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thanks to Mr. Mkhize Jr. From my side, Chair, I just I would like the committee or him and his team to further indulge the committee in terms of the areas of improvements that I have identified, in particular with regards to attendance. How are they intending to improve on those? So they should take us into their confidence. How are they going to improve on those? Secondly, my other suggestion is that there has to be different strategies for different audiences. So I think maybe when the plan comes, it must come with the different communication strategies for the different customers that we are going to be engaging. And also, in addition to that one, we also have to bear in mind that if we are going to be going to do a customer education in rural areas, those customers in particular have to be engaged via chiefs. So that's where the issue of different communication strategies, but even within the urban and peri-urban spheres, the customers are different and we have to be using different communication strategies to engage them. I think we had been commenting and also advising on those, but when the feedback comes, I don't think it just feels that the enhancements or the guidance, they are always ignored. Thanks.
Okay, and then I'm going to call upon Mr. Mkhize.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thanks, Mr. Mkhize and the team for the presentation. I think here, we at the end of the day, everything happens in some local municipality, and collaboration or cooperation by a municipality should actually not even be something we worry about. And I would say to maybe recommend to the team to say, look into that and also see if there's some mandating clause, because there are also our licensees in terms of operating distributing facilities for them to partake, because actually most of the time the people will have a challenge with them and they will require them to be of assistance in one way or another. So I would say that just try to zoom into that because sometimes, most of the time, in most of our processes in any way, in as far as government structures are concerned, things tend to fall apart at that tier of government. And therefore, let's zoom into that and use the legal instruments that we have if need be. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. And now I'm going to call upon Ms. Maluleke. Your hand is up.
Thank you, Chair. Apologies, I had some network problems on my side. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to members. Good morning to Mr. Matebula, Mr. Welile, colleagues and members of the community, public. I apologize for the technical glitch I had. I would like to present my presentation, if I'm allowed, because of I was slightly derailed because of the network, and then I will answer the two questions. I only had the two questions from Ms. Simani and Mr. Mkhize, but if there are others, I'm willing to answer that. But there was a note that I've prepared that speaks to what's happening, the IERA amendments, the consumer protection, and all the issues that we come across on the ground. So I'll start my presentation now. Apologies for taking more of your time. So the purpose of this submission is to
Just hold on. Can I ask Ms. Maseti to come in first, and then followed by Mr. Mabunda?
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I thought the submission has already been presented and there are questions that are asked for clarity. So I don't think that we can utilize the members' time for the reintroduction of the submission, Chair, except just to hear the succinct answers to the questions. Thank you.
And then Mr. Mabunda.
Thank you, Chair. I'm covered by Miss Masit. Apologies, Miss Masit.
Thank
right.
you. I'll go straight to the answers. I'll also include what that has been presented by Mr. Mkhize. First and foremost, when it comes to communication between all the different public that we are facing, whether it's urban or peri-urban or rural, we make sure that we use the language or the professionalism that is needed in those spaces. For example, if we are doing workshops in the rural areas where the indigenous, where there are people who are not educated, who want us to go down to the level of people who are not who are illiterate, we make sure that we use the language that is suitable for those people. Remember, according to the Act 4 of 2006, it speaks to consumer protection. Consumer protection, it means that people must hear what you're saying as a regulator. It means that you are protecting the regulator, giving them information, also making sure that they're protected and they are given fair prices as well. So whatever the use of communication that we use, we make sure that it goes along with the rural communities. And when we come, for example, when we go to exhibitions, like last week we were in exhibitions, corporate exhibitions, where we are supposed to be able to communicate at that level, where we're dealing with IPPs, where we're dealing with private distributors, where we're dealing with professional people. That is why we also use the language that is capable or suitable for those people. Hence, it was one of my recommendation to say that if we are going to public hearings, as is a corporate space, we also need the support of our fellow interdepartmental colleagues to say that whether it's registrations or technical, so that they can also assist us with the technical part of the questions that our IPPs or our customers, our corporate customers look for. And secondly, the part where Mr. Mkhize is talking about municipal corporations, local, with the CPF, Mr. Mkhize, this is the Consumer Protection Forum that speaks to what we do, the collaboration of consumer protector offices and also fellow regulators, where we delve upon to saying that we need to be partnering. We need to be speaking the same, to say that are we assisting the communities? Are we protecting our communities? Remember, the Act of 2006, as amended, speaks to us protecting our consumers. So this forum also speaks to protecting our consumers. So I was also saying, as part of my recommendation in my notes that I've written, that a collaboration, especially with the local municipalities and ESCOMs as our licensees, we need to put them to task to say that we need to develop end user forums, because when we talk about end user forums, we talk about a forum that will combine us, the regulator, the community members, and also the licensees, to make sure that complaints and all the complaints that our fellow community members or our electricity customers are coming upon, and they can be dealt with on the level of the grassroots, to say that they can be resolved there. And by forming those end user forums, it also speaks to us reducing the escalations of complaints, because now we're also speaking about the tribunal and arbitration. These are some of the studies or the education that we need to educate to our customers, to say that if you fail with mediation, you have what you call arbitration, hence the establishment of tribunal court to say you can escalate. So we have a lot of work as customer education to say that we need to make sure that our electricity customers are protected, and also our licensees are getting the revenue that they deserve as generators of electricity. I will stop there for now. Thank you.
And then, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Matebula?
Yeah, Chair. Let me just add by indicating that we have taken note of the inputs from the members. I think there is indeed a lot of work that we still need to do to ensure that we can sufficiently and satisfactorily engage all stakeholders in different customer class within the society of South Africa. So, Chair, we have really taken note. I think same comments were shared when we presented the plan in the last meeting, and we are working on processes, implementing one by one, just to ensure that we can enhance the work that we do in customer education. I think when Mr. Mkhize was presenting, he also spoke about reviving the process of getting customer feedback as we engage. And I should say that I practically tested one of the systems that we have introduced, an electronic system that we have introduced in our stall at the Energy Indaba, where we were also presented as the regulator, just to see that that function actually works. So, Chair will continue to implement these enhancements to ensure that our customers and stakeholders understand what our mandate is, and also create that relationship where we can be able to support society better going forward. So we appreciate the opportunity, Chair, and as we continue to bring the feedback to the committee, we will also indicate some of the strategies that we have implemented and the results thereof. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Would now like to check with the members of the regulators if they've been answered or if there's any more issues they would like to raise. Thank you. I don't see any. Okay, here is Madam Simane.
Thank you very much, Chair. I will be economical with your time. Thanks to Mr. Matebula and Ms. Maluleke for the responses, which are noted. From my side, Chair, I think one of the things that I want to emphasize is that to the extent that there are many questions or issues that are raised by customers which are outside NERSA's mandate, NERSA should or the team should consider partnering, bringing other social partners, because from the experience I had when we're doing public hearings, due to the lot of socio-economic challenges that people are experiencing, anybody that comes, they just, for a lack of a better word, crucify that person. So given the issues that have been raised when they were doing the customer education, then the next step would be to seek other government partners, so that which are social partners, so that the next round of customer education involves them, so that other issues that are very much outside of our scope or mandate can be dealt by those, so that we are not seen as scapegoating. Because people, when they see anybody who might look like somebody from government, they just offload all their frustrations. Thanks, Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Simane. And then can I ask Ms. Maluleke to respond to what Ms. Simane has said briefly, so that we can move on now?
Thank you, Chair, for allowing me. Yes, as the CPF forum, it's a forum that comprises of fellow regulators and also consumer protection offices. So with these consumer protection offices is where we plan workshops, customer education engagements united so that we deal with all the complaints in collective to make sure that if one has a problem that is above us, the other ombuds or the regulator will deal with, or the consumer protection or offices will deal with. And secondly, as I was saying, that all these questions are coming to one question. We were talking about collaboration. Collaboration is very important in our work, whether we collaborate with consumer protection offices or ombuds offices or regulators or our fellow colleagues in other departments. It helps us to achieve what we need to do as a customer education to make sure that the mandate of NERSA is fulfilled and also is in place to make sure that all of us, even our consumers, our electricity customers, because as the Act has stated now as amended, it speaks to consumer protection, protecting our consumers. And it also, when we talk about that collaboration, it goes across board to making sure that electricity, our customer education are getting the fair prices that they have. Are they being charged how the prices that are approved by NERSA? And also, are they happy as consumers? So with this establishment, I believe the establishment of end user forums, it will combine us as the regulator, also our licensees, and also our community members, even resellers, vendors, everybody who are in this lesson, to make sure that we capacitate them, to make sure that they know what the regulator is expected from them. Because when we talk about the issues of the formation of end user forums, we are talking about them. We must make an oversight to our licensee to make sure that they establish those end user forums so that our problems can be sorted in the grassroots level. I will stop there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think thanks very much to the responses we've got. I think the members of the regulator, if I can summarize what they were saying, is that we need to enhance our customer education processes. I'm not going to repeat every one of the points they raised. So with that, if we just can go back to the recommendation there in section 14, it's that the recommendation for the ELS to note the consolidated report for customer education. So with that, then can I ask the members to raise their hands if they are in support of the recommendation? I see Ms. Maseti, Madam Semane, Mr. Mkize, Ms. Sitole, Mr. Bukula, and myself. Thank you very much. And then we are now going to move on to the next item on our agenda, item number 10, the third quarter report on the ESCOM distribution compliance audits. Once again, I'm going to call upon Mr. Matibula. Thank you, Mr. Matibula.
Yeah, Chair, thanks. I see a hand from Mr. Bugula. I'm not sure if it's a legacy hand. Okay. All right, it's fine. I think we can proceed. I see the hand is down. Yeah, Chair, this report, Chair, or the submission itself, it's meant to bring to the attention of the subcommittee members in terms of the audits that we have conducted in various licensees within the country. And Chair, we obviously, this is in accordance with our plan that had been approved previously, which indicated the areas that we will be focusing on in this financial year. And I think the next report also talks to the similar issue, and it talks to different licensees. So, Chair, I think I I would want to afford Ms. Gobe an opportunity just to, in summary, indicate to the members some of the key findings of these audits, and also talk to what our recommendations are. Chair, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matebula. Apologies, I was struggling to open my mic. Good morning to the chairperson, to members of our ELS, colleagues and members of the public. As Mr. Matebula has alluded earlier, this report, which serves today as item 10 and the other one as item 11, these are the third quarter reports of audits that were conducted in this current financial year. And the purpose of these submissions is to request the electricity subcommittee to note these reports, specifically the non-compliances that were identified. These quarterly consolidated reports are serving today as per the ELS delegation matrix of the 27th of November 2025 for noting, as alluded before. We have a number of contraventions in both reports, and these are in table 2 on page 4 of 36. In the first report, we had 4 licenses that we audited, and then to finish off our financial year, we had 2 in the other ones. What we would like to mention is that when these reports are done, we send them to the licenses, and already some of the licenses, like Nelson Mandela, are already engaging us, on the process that is going to be following. So we ask the board that we are allowed to send these reports that have non-compliances to us, so that a tribunal can sit, as we have seen already from the 18th of December of 2025. And yeah, these are the 2 reports for noting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So I'm going to ask the members of the regulator to come in if they've got any questions. Yes, Madam Maseti.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and thanks to Ms. Bulelwa. Chairperson, mine is just on the recommendations in terms of the decisions that are sought. I think this committee has on numerous occasions provided guidance that legal services is part of the team. So we cannot, as this committee, be required to make a decision on matters that served in this committee that the reports that have already been considered here must then be taken to legal services, because legal services should have been part and parcel of these submissions. Now, this then talks to paragraph 2 that deals with the purpose, the second the second paragraph of which is 2.2, and also the second recommendation. So I suggest that we then correct that recommendation to state that the ELS is requested to note that non-compliance with license conditions identified in Nelson Mandela Bay, Kaima, Getleng, Rifir, and Mafube local municipalities will be compiled in a separate report after the responses have been received from these municipalities. Thereafter, the team will decide whether to proceed with the referral for a sitting of a tribunal in terms of Section 18. That's how I would request that we proceed in this regard, Chair. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Maseti. Can I then get a response from Mr. Matebola and the team?
Yeah, Chair, I think I must acknowledge that indeed we need to improve in terms of how we write our recommendations based on the work, and we appreciate the guidance coming from the members of the subcommittee. And I think the same would apply also, Chair, for the report that we will be presenting next, because it also talks to the audits that we conducted at different licensee sites, and we have got findings which we are obviously finalizing with the licensees. And Chair, we will also take the outcome of that on the same route. So we will take the guidance, Chair, and we will ensure that it is corrected as guided. Thanks.
Okay, can I just check with the can I just check whether the responses are in order? Ms. Maseti, are you answered?
I'm covered, Chairperson, as long as we also gonna be able to capture the amended part for the record in terms of the resolution. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Maseti. So I don't see any hands. So we will have to move to a resolution with the enhancements that were proposed by Ms. Maseti, particularly on the second resolution 2.2, that we must actually, as ELS, requested to note the non-compliance by all those municipalities, and then and that following that, we must then combine separate reports, and then the separate reports must then be compiled for the tribunal to take effect. So with that, then because I see it's two reports, but for now, in terms of voting, can I just ask by show of hands for item number 10, the third quarter report? Let's start with that, voting for that. Ms. Sebane and myself, Mr. Mkize, Ms. Sitole, Ms. Maseti. So we have now voted for the first report, but I see, and then item number 11 is also the fourth quarter report. Can I also ask for members to raise their hands if they are in support for item number 11, which is the fourth quarter report? Ms. Simane, Mr. Mkize, Ms. Sitole, Ms. Maseti, and myself. Thank you for that. And now the next item then is going to be item number 12, the transmission audit submission. Transmission audit submission for the fourth quarter. And once again, I'm going to call upon Mr. Matebula.
Chair, thank you again. The report, Chair, it's here also a Chair for noting, and this talks to the audits that were conducted within the transmission space, specifically within the NTCSA. Chair, so we Obviously, this talks to the activities that were conducted in the fourth quarter of this financial year, according to our approved plan. So, Chair, I would invite Ms. Njoku just to talk to the specifics on the report, Chair, and also the recommendations. Thank you.
Good morning to the chairperson and the members of the electricity subcommittee. Thank you, Mr. Mathebula. I would like to also welcome the members of the public that joined us and colleagues. This submission presents the consolidated results of the compliance audit on 4 NTCSA main transmission substations conducted during the fourth quarter of the 2025-26 financial year. It covers 2 new audits and 2 re-audits, all executed in the central grid. Each audit was conducted through plant walkdowns, equipment condition checks, documentation completeness, record keeping, and dissolved gas analysis results against ESCOM alarm levels in accordance with the NTCSA license conditions. Individual audit reports were issued to NTCSA immediately post-audit with the observations noted. All 4 main transmission substations demonstrated strong overall compliance, equipment in good condition, and documentation readily available, except for a few transformers that had oil leaks, and the licensee was advised to monitor closely and attend to them urgently to avoid compromising the oil core functions, which is cooling and insulation. Minor observations requiring corrective actions were noted across the sites. These are fully detailed in Table 7, pages 40 to 42 of the consolidated report. They are all categorized by substation equipment. NTCSA has acknowledged the receipt of the individual reports shared with them and will complete in due course the corrective action plans template to address their findings. Overall, there were no non-compliance issues identified. The electricity subcommittee is therefore requested to note the fourth quarter NTCSA transmission consolidated report attached as Annexure 1. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, ma'am. Can I now call upon the members of the regulator if they've got any questions or comments? Yes, Mr. Pugula.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to find out, is Sisimuka a switching station?
Can we get a response from the team?
Mr. Kumalo, are you there?
Yes, Mr. Kumalo.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thanks for the question from Mr. Pukula. Sisimuka is not a switching, it's a switching station, the one that is next to Simapen. Thanks.
Thank you for that. I do not see any hands from the members of the regulator. So I'm going to, okay, sorry. Yes, Mr. Pugula again.
Thank you, Chair. I mean, if it's not a switching station, I'm not sure what Mr. Kumara was saying, but why I'm asking is because I didn't see any report on its transformers. Hence, I was thinking that, okay, if it's a switching station, then it will have no transformers. But I'm not sure what Mr. Kumara was saying. But I then want to just come to, on the introduction there, we're talking about the third paragraph. It's not numbered. The challenges faced by NTCSA in meeting the demand. If you could explain, I didn't know that NTCSA can't meet the demand. I'm not sure about the accuracy of that. And there's another paragraph that says, plant and equipment defects often lead to unplanned, talks about site. I'm also not sure if we I know you can measure SAIDI and SAIFI at transmission level, but there's a part of this that really makes it look like you have just made something from a distribution reports, and yeah, and some of the stations of unplanned. You know, that whole paragraph of the introduction. I'm not sure about it if it's appropriate for this report. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Bukula. Can I then ask the team to respond? Mr. Kumar.
Yes, thanks, Chairperson. To Mr. Pukula, the first question that you asked of whether it's a switching station or not, it's Sisimoga. I did indicate that it's a switching station since there are no transformers. And then on the other matters that you have raised, I think it will be fair for us to go through the document and revise all the issues that you have raised and delete what is not applicable. Thanks.
Can I go back to Mr. Bukula? Mr. Bukula, are you answered?
Yes, I'm answered. But the first one of Sisimoga, but the second one I'm also answered. But maybe it would help if you can go through the document first before you submit it, so that all we really do is say tick approve and not approve. But for you to have to go back to it again when you've submitted it for us to look at it, it's not the most efficient way of using. And it's not just directed at you, Mr. Kumalo, with this submission. Even the ones before, we've been saying change this, change that. So I'm making a plea that can we make them to be, good for the consumption of the subcommittees, so that we are not going back and talking about things that we shouldn't be talking about. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Bukula. I do not see any more hands from the members of the regulator. So we have noted the enhancements from Mr. Bukula in terms of how the documents must be packaged correctly even before they come to the committee. So with that, may I ask that we move to the recommendations? And I see that in terms of section 14.1, it's recommended that ELS notes the fourth quarter consolidated report. So can I see by members raising their hands if they are in support? I see Mr. Mkize, Madam Simane, Mr. Pukula, Madam Sitole, and Madam Masechi, and myself. Thank you. So on that note, then we're going to move on to the next item on the agenda, which is number 13, the wheeling rules. Again, we're going to call upon Mr. Matibula and his team. Thank you.
Yeah, Chairperson, thanks. So this, Chairperson, it's the report is, or the submission, it's brought to the subcommittee for noting. And Chair, it talks to the implementation of the wheeling rules, and it talks to the period between 1st of January 2025 to December 2025. Chair, the wheeling rules themselves were approved by the regulator and gazetted and implemented. And Chair, we engaged the different network service providers just to check the implementation progress. And I would request Mr. Muyefi to just talk to the specifics that we would like to highlight to the committee, and then deal with the recommendations and questions, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, EM. Good morning, members. Good morning, colleagues, and also members of the public. Yes, Chair, as the EM has indicated, we wrote letters to the municipalities. The list was received from the EPT department for those municipalities that have applied for the wheeling tariff, and we asked to them with the proviso that we'll get the information before the 31st of January. So we did send to 25 municipalities. For wheeling, we only sent 12 letters to the municipality as we got the information from the EPT on the 19th of November 2025. And then we did a follow-up again in January to get more information from the municipalities and those that haven't responded, that we also approach them to give us information. So in terms of what we got, is that we received only 3 responses from municipalities that are doing. Actually, we received 5 from municipalities that are offering the wheeling scheme to the customers, the off-takers and the generators. Meaning it was only 5, being main one was Eskom and George. That we received from didn't actually indicate that they are not offering the scheme, but they are at the process of upgrading their systems. So we couldn't get that data that we wanted to can initiate a report. So in terms of that, what we did in terms of our analysis, we analyzed that the data submitted shows that the NSP are piloting or preparing the implementation of Lean with most at early stages of establishing protocols and the systems like we had been. So we also analyzed as a team that the activities have an impact on the industry. However, this cannot be fully evaluated at this stage because the submission, the information that we received was insufficient, and we were looking at aligning it to the request that we sent to them. So we never received those requests that we sought, some of the requests that we sought. So we are planning to do something better to develop a report, meaning that we will develop a matrix, key performance indicators that will be assisting us for a better report that will now generate for the members to note next year. At this juncture, we are reporting on the progress that has been done, and we are seeking members to note this progress, and also to note the progress and on the implementation of the wheeling rules. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I'm now going to call upon the members of the regulators if they've got any enhancements or comments. Thank you. I do not see any hands up. So we are now going to move to voting. I see there again the recommendation is to request the electricity subcommittee to note the progress on the implementation of the wheeling rules by the network service providers for the period 01 January 2025 to 31 December 2025. So can I see by show of hands if the members support the recommendation? Mr. Bukula, Ms. Sitole, Madam Maseti, and Madam Semane, and myself. Thank you. Oh, yeah. and Mr. Mane. And then, therefore, on that note, we are now going to move to the next item, which is number 14, the NTSA reports on congestion curtailment. Mr. Matebula, again.
Chairperson, thank you. Again, the purpose of this submission, Chair, is to request the subcommittee to note the 6-monthly report by NTCSA on the implementation of the congestion curtailment as an ancillary service. Chair, this application was brought to the regulator in 2024. 24 May to be specific, the regulator approved or received this request for implementation. Chair, it was approved, and with a condition that NTCSA will provide 6 monthly reports. So, Chair, this submission therefore seeks to close that loop by sharing with the members of the regulator the 6 monthly report as attached as Annex A. Chairperson, I would request Mr. Nicholas Maluleke just to touch on some of the specifics that he would like to share with the committee before we can deal with the questions and also the recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matebula. Good morning, Chairperson, members of the public and fellow colleagues. As Mr. Matebula has outlined, I would also like to make the members aware that the Annex A was reloaded yesterday after we discovered that the uploaded document was corrupted and it was unreadable. So we opted to reload it yesterday. Yes. A little bit more also on the background. After that approval on the 29th of April 2025, the regulator approved the NTCSA application to clarify congestion curtailment as a constrained generation ancillary service subject to certain conditions, of which one of the conditions was that the NTSA must report to NERSA on the implementation of congestion curtailment every 6 months over the period of 3 years. In the report, it was specified that there should be it should cover minimum information. It should cover at minimum information on the capacity connected to the grid through this regime, curtailment levels implemented, records of curtailment incidents, and cost and progress on system and ancillary services project. And then based on that, they did submit the report on the 28th of November 2025, which is the first 6-monthly report. The biannual report is intended to assist the energy regulator in assessing the effectiveness and the impact of congestion curtailment at the conclusion of MYPD6 in 2028. NTCSA in its report also indicated that the generation connection capacity for the grid connection in the Eastern and Western Cape provinces has been revised to 1,580 megawatt in line with the percentage of the approval. And in September and October 2025, the system operator also issued instruction to curtail wind generators in the Western Cape to prevent transformer overloading at Comsbeck MTS. But no compensation was paid because the curtailment fell under the allowable grid unavailability provision. It is also expected that no curtailment incident will occur in the first year of implementation of the energy regulator's decision, as new generators still need time to complete development and grid connection processes. From what we derive from the first 6-monthly report by the NTCSA is that there is a need to close monitor all projects currently being implemented by NTCSA to enable proper assessment of the performance and impact of congestion curtailment mechanism. and that clear categorization of curtailment incident is essential. With that, Chairperson, it is recommended that the Electricity Subcommittee note the 6-monthly report by NTCSA on the implementation of congestion curtailment as an ancillary service, which is attached as Annexure A. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. With that, I'm going to ask now members of the regulator if there's any enhancements or contributions or questions they might have on the presentation. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Bukula.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, for me, I would just like to propose that when we get the next report, if we could also, like in table 3, for instance, where it shows the congestion curtailment events, if we could also indicate there's a line in the MYPD where we approved, where we had the monies involved, we indicate the expenditure in that line that is supposed to cater for congestion curtailment, what has been spent. Thank you, Chair.
And then Madam Maseti.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, from my side, I would also just like the team to also touch on the implementation plan that was developed by NTCSA in how it is going to manage the curtailment and the finances. I believe this document was workshopped with various stakeholders, as the stakeholders wanted to understand at what point this congestion curtailment was going to be implemented. But eventually, I think it was around December 2025 or so, when NTCSA met with various stakeholders and informed them about the implementation plan following the approval of the energy regulator. My question is whether the team has had sight of that implementation plan and scrutinized and interacted with NTCSA with regards to that implementation plan, so that we can be apprised of any concerns in the way in which NTCSA envisages to do the implementation. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Maseti. Can we get a response from the team?
Yeah, Chair, I will allow, okay, I see Dorcas already has a hand. Proceed, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Matebula, and good morning, Chairperson, and to the members of the Electricity Subcommittee, and also to the members of the public. Maybe I will start with the first point that was mentioned by Mr. Bukula. We do take note of it. It's a point of enhancement. With the next reports, we will highlight in terms of expenditure that is linked to the curtailment incidents that have been implemented by NTCSA. But specifically for this report, with the curtailment incident that has been recorded, they have indicated that they did not pay for it under the congestion curtailment budget that has been approved by the regulator, because it still falls under the grid unavailability provisions, because it was the curtailment was due to a local incident, not necessarily due to congestion curtailment. But with future reports, we will definitely ensure that we highlight that. In terms of the implementation plan, as Ms. Maseti has requested by the NTCSA, we don't necessarily have sight of the plan per se in completion, but there are a number of things that they have highlighted to us in terms of what they have done since the approval of this application by NERSA. One of them being that they have currently published a practice note which outlines how this capacity that has been unlocked will be allocated to the customers that would then apply for it. An indication is also that they have already received some applications for this curtailment. So one, it's the practice note that they have already published and in workshopped with stakeholders. Secondly, it's also that they have updated the grid connection capacity assessment, because their initial application was for, they had based their application on a curtailment level of 10%, which would have unlocked 3,470 megawatts. That's what they had projected at the time, but with the approved funds and the conditions, they had to revise the studies, and now they can only accommodate curtailment of up to 1,580 megawatts, if I'm not mistaken. So they had to revise the grid connection capacity assessment, which they publish every October, which indicates in which particular nodes on the transmission network in the Eastern Cape and Western Cape is that capacity available, so that the IPPs know where to apply for such a capacity. And thirdly, Chairperson, and which will be the last thing that I mentioned, they have indicated that they are working on, it's also I think it's still a draft position paper on their side, which deals with how compensation, once they've started implementing this congestion curtailment, how they will handle issues of compensation for public IPPs. It's sort of like already mapped out, as they are already compensating for other forms of curtailment. But that position paper then outlines for private IPPs how compensation will work, and also in terms of post market. But yeah, I think that's what I can say for now in terms of some of the things that they have done in preparing for this implementation. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Matebola, would you like to add anything?
No, Chair.
All right.
It's fine. We can just check maybe with Ms. Maseti if there are any other comments.
All right. Let's hear then from Madam Maseti if she's got any more questions or contributions. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. I don't have, I appreciate the input, but what I would like to request on this aspect is that for transparency purposes, if we could find a way of making sure that NTCSA does publish information pertaining to the congestion zones or areas, and that it will be, I think, crucial for transparency and also for the energy regulator to closely monitor and take informed interventions where necessary. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Madam Maseti. I think on that note, then we hear the announcements that have come from the members of the regulator. Therefore, may I ask now that we move on to the recommendations in 14.1 for the ELS to note the 6-monthly report by NTSA on congestion curtailment. If we can raise our hands. I see Madam Simane, Mr. Bukula, Madam Sitola, Mr. Mkize, and Madam Maseti. Thank you very much.
There was also an additional part, Chairperson, that I proposed, which is for transparency. If the information pertaining to congestion information on congestion in certain areas be published, Chairperson. I think that is important for everyone. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for that, Madam Maseti. And then we are now going to move to the next item on our agenda, which is number 15, the net billing rules. Again, I'm going to call upon Mr. Matebula.
Chairperson, thank you. this submission, Chair, again, it's brought to the subcommittee for noting on the implementation of the net billing rules by licensed distributors. Chairperson, this was the rules themselves were approved by the regulator in December 2024. And Chair, we reached out to the various licensed distributors, checking on their implementation of these rules for the period of January to December 2025. And Chair, I would ask Mr. Muefi Morueng just to give some detail to the members before we can deal with questions and recommendations. Thank you, Chair.
Once again, EM, thank you again, members and colleagues, members on call. We followed the same process like we did with net billing on getting information with Wheeling on getting information for net billing, and as the EMS indicated, the rules that were approved aims to enable access to the network by those who want to export energy to the grid, and also implement a cost-reflective and transparent charging methodology. We thought when we request information, we will focus also on those impacts of revenue and impact on the network. But as I will indicate, we also sought information from 25 municipalities, as we received a list from our colleagues from EPT that those customers have applied for net billing. Only 5 of those municipalities responded on time. We also continued to do a follow-up on getting the information, but we are unsuccessful. And as I will explain later, the reasons what we have done is in our analysis. Only 5 that we were responding. I think the 3 of them indicated they have applied for the tariff and they are implementing, while the others are also looking at building capacity, doing meter and network configuration, and also looking at billing system. So in terms of the analysis that we did as the team, we also realized that the activities cannot to do a report cannot be undertaken at this stage, but that given the information that we are given. But again, as a team, we said we will have to go back and develop a matrix and key performance area, and also develop a plan to improve on data request and collection from licensed distributors. With that, we request the committee to note the progress made on the implementation of net billing by licensed distributors, to review a performance update from 1st January to 2025 to 31st December 2025. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Morueng. So I think what we're going to do now, I'm going to ask the members of the regulator if they've got any comments, questions, or contributions. I do not see any hands. So we are now going to move to vote for the recommendation, which is to request, there according to paragraph 14, to request the electricity subcommittee to note the progress made on the implementation of the net billing rules by licensed distributors, and to review the performance update from 1 January 2025 to 31 December 2025. So may I ask the members to show by to raise their hands if they are in support of the recommendation. Mr. Mkize, Ms. Maseti, Ms. Semane, and myself. Thank you very, very much for that. We are now going to move on to agenda number 16, which is the performance of the renewables. Again, we're going to call upon Mr. Matebula. So I say,
Chair,
Mr. Mabunda.
Okay.
Mr. Mabunda, yes, sorry.
Chair, without wasting your time, please take note of the comment that Ms. Maseti wrote there. We may proceed.
Okay. Now noted. Thank you.
All right, Chair. Yeah, this submission, Chair, it's meant for the regulator members to note the report on the performance of renewable energy power plants. Chairperson, to avoid taking a lot of time, let me rather invite Dr. Kasheka to just give the specific details on this performance report before we can deal with the questions from members and also the recommendations. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Chairperson, members of ELS management, colleagues and stakeholders, and members of the public. Chair, the submission is part of an ongoing monitoring project in the NESA plan, which is in line with Section 4A Roman 5 of the Act and Section 15 of the Renewable Energy Grid Code. So we collect as NESA the information from IPPs, and then we analyze for the purpose of sharing this with the public. The report attached is Annex A. It gives an update on the capacity in megawatts and that have been achieved in 2025, as of 2025, December. And this is from page 12 of the report to page 14. We also gave information in terms of the licensed projects that are not part of the Renewable Energy IPP program of the DEE, Department of Energy, Electricity and Energy. And we gave that information. I think it's covered in paragraph 2.7 of the actual report on page 14. Chair, in 2025, we had 7 new IPP power plants that reached commercial operation, and with a total capacity of about 753 megawatts. These comprise of wind, 4 wind farms and 3 photovoltaic power plants. So by the end of December, the capacity in commercial operation was about 7,052 from 97 IPPs under this renewable energy program. And then, Chair, from page 14 to 24, we're covering the energy production and also capacity factors. And then from page 17, we've got the share of renewables out of the whole system, that is at system level. And just to give a brief data on the numbers, we had 17,808 gigawatts that were produced from the IPP programs. That is the IPPs that are under the Renewable Energy IPP program. And those were the average cost of R2.16. And if one works numbers, gives us about 38.5 billion in terms of the total cost. In the same year, Chair, just briefly, I'm going to finish. 67 renewable energy IPP were also curtailed due to ensure that there's we keep the system balanced, and the cost of that was about 4 million.
And the last part of the report gives the socio-economic development of the projects, which is part of the implementation agreements. And these projects have contributed about 222 million for socio-economic development, and the enterprise development was about 68 million. Chair, coming to the recommendations which are on page 4 of the cover submission, the ELS committee our recommendation, to the ELS committee is for noting the report on the performance of the renewable energy power plants for the period January to December 2025. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. I now call upon the members of the regulator if they've got any questions or comments. I do not see any hands, so I'm going to ask that we move to voting.
Chair, apologies.
I see Mr. Mkiza. Oh, so sorry. I see Mr. Mkiza followed by Mr. Bukula. So starting with Mr. Mkiza.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think it would help to do a proper language editing on the document, noting several errors and challenges like under 1.2, 1.3 there, and a host of other areas. If you can just make sure that before it goes out. And also, I think we should somewhere capture the minister, maybe indicate that whilst it means Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, is now the successor now is the Minister of Electricity and Energy, just to highlight that. And in a report of this kind, I think it's also important to draw in the submission itself to draw certain conclusion and recommendations on the program itself, rather than just the one recommendation on the noting of the report. I'm talking about report specific observations, conclusions, and recommendations. I will leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkiza. And then Mr. Bukula.
Thank you, Chair. Chairperson, I just wanted us to maybe consolidate the two reports that were given by Mr. Wefi. And I think what we need to be doing together with this report is try and have a consolidation of what the installed capacity is. That would include those that are willing with the registered with municipalities and stuff like that, so that we can start having a better picture of what the installed capacity in the country is, whether it's from household rooftops or these other industrial CNI projects. And I think those three reports can combine, can give us that output just as a matter horizon. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Bukula. So can I ask the team to respond?
Thank you, Chair. We do take note of the comments from Mr. Mkiza. I think we will indeed take this to the editorial team of NERSA. And also we'll also correct, I think the reference to the Minister of Electricity and Energy. We'll look at that and correct. In terms of the conclusion, Chairperson, we will check, and perhaps I think in the next reports we should try and include these recommendations in terms of drawing conclusions, setting conclusions in terms of the report. But it is indeed the fact is that this report is mostly
It's a continuous report that really tracks, with the progress. So at times it's dependent on the implementation itself, that is whether projects do reach and so on. But we'll try and incorporate the recommendations from Mr. Mkhize, Chair. And then coming to Mr. Bugla's input as well, I think it is proper to also try and have perhaps in the next report a table that also deals with the capacity from other programs, that is, or other instruments, that is willing the registration. I think we do have that one already. It was reported, I think, in January, so we can also draw some information from that, and including the rooftops, Chairperson, those that are being registered through various distribution companies, like such as municipality and ESCOM. So we will endeavor to incorporate that information in the next report. So thank you.
Can I
Thank you,
check
Chair.
then? Thank you. Can I check with Mr. Mkhize and Mr. Pukula if they are answered?
I'm covered. Thank you.
Thank you.
Same here, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Pukula. So on that note, then, may we now move to the recommendation that the ELS subcommittee is requested to note the report on the performance of renewables energy power plants, the performance update during 2025, issue number 27, as attached as Annexure A. And then we'll do that with the enhancements that Mr. Pukula proposed, that we actually consolidate the reports with the other reports so that we can see a more fuller picture. So with that, can I ask the members of the committee to raise their hands if they are in support? Mr. Mkhize, Madam Maseti, Mr. Pukula, Ms. Simane, Ms. Sitole, and myself. Thank you. And then on that note, then we are going to move on to the next item, number 17, which is the NPA for the ferrochromes. Once again, we'll call upon Mr. Matebula. Thank you.
Chairperson, thank you. This submission, Chair, is to request the members of the subcommittee to note, Chair, the report on the temporary amendment to the NPA. This is for Samanco Chrome Limited and Glencore Mirafi. Chair, this is for the period of 1st August 2025 to the 31st of October 2025. So, Chairperson, this take-or-pay arrangement came at the back of an approved 6-year NPA by the regulator, which was approved in October 2023. And Chair, in August 2025, the regulator approved a take-or-pay waiver. And hence today, Chair, we would like to share with the committee members on some of the performance outcomes of that particular take-or-pay approval. And specifically, this talks to the first 3 months of that approval, which is August 2025 to October 2025. Chair, I would want Ms. Matlo, Gwena Matlo, just to talk to some of the details before we take questions from the members. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, good morning, Chairperson, members and colleagues. Okay, as Mr. Matebula has already alluded, in approving this NPA, the energy regulator imposed a condition that Samanco and Glencore ferrochrome smelters must be liable for a minimum consumption payment of 70% of normal consumption adjusted over a calendar quarter. In February 2025, both Glencore and Samanco declared hardship due to change in market conditions and oversupply in the market as a result of Chinese producers benefiting from reduced electricity price. Eskom submitted an application for a take-or-pay waiver for a period of 6 months, which was approved in July 2025. Chairperson, it's also important to note that the purpose of the waiver was to prevent closure and permanent loss of significant sales to Eskom. And this waiver is a short-term relief, whereas the industry and Eskom are engaging on long-term solution for the ferrochrome industry. In terms of the energy regulator decision when this waiver was approved, Eskom was required to submit a 3-month progress report to monitor the implementation of the waiver. The monitoring report on the waiver was assessed based on the following principles. Glencore and Samanco tape TOP waiver adjustment, Glencore and Samanco average monthly consumption and economic impact. In terms of Samanco waiver adjustment, the waiver has assisted Samanco to reduce electricity consumption without incurring penalties. In terms of Glencore recorded no production during the reporting period, reflecting finance closure necessitated by change in market conditions. With regards to Glencore and Samanco average monthly consumption, Samanco has maintained production capacity at Dubazo Ferrochrome, and its remaining operations and other remaining operations were shut down. And with regards to Glencore suspended operations across all 3 of its furnaces. With regards to the economic impact of the waiver, the implementation of the waiver has assisted in preventing job losses, as both Glencore and Samanco has suspended Section 189. And the ferrochrome smelter is a significant contributor to the fiscus, and the implementation of the waiver has resulted in sustaining the direct and indirect jobs in the downstream and upstream industries. We therefore request the Electricity Subcommittee to note the report on the temporary amendments to the TOP terms of the NPA for Samanco Chrome Limited and Glencore Merafe Chrome Venture Ferrochrome Smelters for the period 1 August 2025 to 31 October 2025. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm now going to ask the members of the regulator to come in if they've got questions or enhancements. Thank you. I do not see any hands, so I'm therefore going to request that we move to the recommendations, which is in paragraph 14, that is recommended that the Electricity Subcommittee note the report on the temporary amendments to the TOP terms of the NPA for Samanco Chrome Limited and Glencore Merafe Chrome Venture Ferrochrome Smelters for the period 1 August 2025 to 31 October 2025. So if I can see by show of hands if the members are in support. Madam Semane, Mr. Mkize, Mr. Pugula, Ms. Sitole, and myself. Thank you very much. And Ms. Maseti. So thank you very much for that. I'm now going to move to item number 18, the trading licenses. Again, Mr. Matebula.
Chairperson?
Yeah, Chair, okay.
Chairperson, I made a request earlier on that perhaps if we can skip item number 18 so that we can have all the members in when I look at the content, and then we can deal with item number 18 once we are done with item number 20 or 21. Thanks, Chair.
Sorry, Ms. Maseti, can you repeat? You're saying you're requesting that we skip number 18?
Yes, Chairperson, I'm looking at the content of number 18, and there's a likelihood that perhaps one or two members may want to be recused. So I am suggesting that for the smooth flow of the meeting, if we can skip item number 18, deal with all of the others, then come back to it after item number 20 or after item number 21.
Okay. No, I'm with you. So on that note, then, may I request that we go to item number 19, which is the NPA for Hillside.
Yeah, Chairperson, thanks. I think Ms. Mokoena will continue. Ms. Kwena Matlo will continue with this one as well. Chair, it is also for the purpose of noting, and this talks to the 12 months progress report on the implementation of the NPA with the ESCOM NPA with the Hillside Aluminium Smelter, Pty Ltd. And this covers the period 1st August to 31st July 2025. Chair, the report was submitted to the regulator in October last year, and we therefore would like to bring this to the attention of the the subcommittee members for noting, Chair. Ms. Kwena will touch on the details before we deal with the recommendations and questions. Thanks.
Okay, good morning once more again, Chairperson, members and colleagues. I'll just go straight to the crux of the issue. With regards to the Hillside monitoring reports, previously members requested that the information with regards to the previous reports be included, of which in terms of this Hillside report, all the previous information are included on the report. The average tariff was escalated in line with the decision of the energy regulator, and the consumption is aligned with the previous reports. And with regards to the interruptibility, Hillside smelter is often scheduled as a reserve capacity, but may not be called upon on a particular day if forecasted demands does not materialize. And with regards to the economic impact, the NPA has sustained the full operation of the Hillside smelter as the smelter supplies both liquid metal and solid aluminium to domestic workers. And Hillside is a significant employer in KZN, where unemployment stands at 30%. And also Hillside provide training programs for electricians in renewable energy within the KZN community. And we therefore request the Electricity Subcommittee to note 12-month progress report on the implementation of ESCOM's 10-year negotiated pricing agreement with Hillside Aluminium Smelter in Richards Bay, Umtatuze local municipality in KwaZulu-Natal for the period 1 August 2024 to 31 July 2025. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Ms. Matlo. I'm now going to open it up to the members of the regulator if they've got questions or enhancements. Thank you. I do not see any hands up. So we'll now move to the recommendation, which is there in paragraph 14. It is recommended that the Electricity Subcommittee notes the 12-month progress report on the implementation of ESCOM's 10-year NPA with Hillside Aluminium Smelter located in Richards Bay, Umhlathuze local municipality for the period 1 August 2024 to 31 July 2026. So may I ask the members to raise their hands if they are in support of the recommendation? Mr. Bukula, Ms. Maseti, Ms. Simane, Mr. Mkize, and myself. Thank you for that. And then we are going to move now to item number 20, which is the NPA for TransAlloy. Mr. Matebula, once again.
Chair, thank you. Again, this submission is meant to request the members of the subcommittee to note the 6 months progress report on the implementation of the ESCOM 6-year NPA with Transalloys Pty Ltd. This is for the period 1st April 2025 to 30 September 2025. Chair, the energy regulator on the 18th of March 2025 approved the ESCOM 6-year NPA with Transalloy situated in Emalahleni, Mpumalanga. And Chair, on the 19th of January 2026, we received the report from ESCOM for the period starting 1st April 2025 to 30 September 2025. And we have therefore brought it to the attention of the regulator subcommittee members for noting, Chair. I would ask again Ms. Kwena Matlo just to give some of the details before we deal with questions as well as recommendations. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, good morning once more again, Chairperson, members and colleagues. This is the first 6 months report that we have received since approval in March 2025. So with regards to the crux of the issues, with regards to the tariff was escalated in line with the decision of the energy regulator. With regards to the actual energy consumed, it relates to the first 6 months, and full compliance will be done when we receive the another 6 months report. With regards to the interruptibility, Transalloys has provided load reduction for the period under review. And with regards to the socio-economic impact, the NPA has sustained the full operation of the Transalloy smelter, resulting in consistent silicon manganese, and direct and indirect jobs were sustained by other downstream industries such as mining, logistics, and other related support industries. And we therefore request the Electricity Subcommittee to note 6 months progress report on the implementation of ESCOM 6-year negotiated pricing agreement with Transalloys Pty Ltd in Emalahleni, Mpumalanga, for the period 1 April 2025 to 30 September 2025. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Ms. Matlo. And now, once again, I'm going to call upon the members of the regulator if they've got any comments or contributions. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Mkize.
Thanks, Chairperson, and thanks, Madam Matlo, for the presentation. Now that this is the last one, I'll just, on table 2, that electricity consumption line, that row, that on the microeconomic level side, we are not necessarily, I don't see the number here there. So if you can just update that table accordingly. And I would also prefer that from being even-handed, that we also indicate maybe the revenue loss in inverted commas, the revenue loss, if one were not to have this NPA, because at the end of the day, it will be a comparison of that with the benefit that accrues, so that one can come to a net benefit. If you can assist with that. And then on the analysis on page 5 of 9, I note that you're talking of the continuation of the NPA being preferable. But do you perhaps know of any permanent or updating of the framework itself? Just like to get to know that, because I think it's important that whenever possible, if there can be any updating of the framework or an indication of the timeline that is being considered to deal with some of the issues that have come out in us having been part of the implementation to understand what kind of improvements needs to be effected going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Ms. Matlo?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair. Okay. With regards to the questions for Mr. Mkhize, with regards to analysis on page 5 of 9, with regarding to the continuation of updating of the framework. So far we haven't had anything from the department with regard to the updating of the framework. However, we can sensitize the department with regards to the updating because we have been using the interim framework for a long time. Yeah. And then with regards to the indication in terms of the revenue loss in inverted commas. Yeah, I hope I hear Mr. Mkhize clearly with regards to indication of the revenue loss. And then with regards to this one, we haven't just calculated the implication of the revenue loss. However, what we are saying, we are saying the NPA is preferable as termination will result in reallocation of fixed costs to other customers. And then the other one was regards to table 2 electricity consumption. We will update the table accordingly. I hope I've answered all the questions. Through you, Chair, I see Mr. Gedard raised his hands. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Geldert.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning to you and good morning to the members and to the public. Mr. Mkhize, as far as I'm aware, Eskom have announced in the media, but we have not received an application yet, that they are proposing a new tariff for all the smelters, and my understanding from what they have said in the press is that it will include companies like Transalloys as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Geldert. Can I go back to Mr. Mkhize to see if he's answered or he's got further questions?
I'm covered, Chairperson, greatly so, but I just want to emphasize that you are the first line of policy implementation, and therefore we should be the first ones that go back to the policy maker, make our case understood in terms of what improvements need to be made or what kind of challenges we face. I know that this is not something that we can say approve in this committee, but there's that expectation. And when it comes to assessment, I think I just want to highlight the issue of being even-handed, where certain things are an inherent challenge, like it's a negotiated price, so it's lower than what it would normally be. Just that inclusion, so that one can have a balanced view and looks at the net impact, as we are not trying to be activist in favor of any of the positions that have been taken, but regulating and being neutral and looking at what works and what doesn't work, or what maybe other quotas would look at with a negative light. I'll leave it at that. I'm happy with the responses in any event. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. And I also see Ms. Maseti.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, on the issue of getting back to the policymakers and so forth, item number 24 is meant for that. If members would recall that when we're considering the NPA for Transalloy in February, March 2025, the chairperson of the energy regulator requested that an overall impact be assessed so that there is a report. So the item number 24 of today's agenda is meant for that, and also other policy considerations that we need to bring to the attention of the minister. So it is going to be discussed under governance, and I believe that some of the issues that were raised also by other members in this subcommittee, including Madam Semane. I did say that we were working on the report like that, and indeed that report is now under item number 24. So it can be dealt under governance, Chairperson, and all of those issues raised under that item. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Madam Maseti, for that clarification. So I'm now going to ask us that we move towards the recommendation, which again reads that it is recommended that the Electricity Subcommittee note the 6 months progress report on the implementation of ESCOM's 6-year NPA Sorry, I got distracted here. Yes, let me start afresh. It is recommended that the Electricity Subcommittee notes the 6 months progress report on the implementation of ESCOM 6-year NPA with Transalloy, situated in Emalahleni in Mpumalanga for the period 1 April to 30 September 2025. So can I see by show of hands if the members are in support? Ms. Maseki, Mr. Mkize, Ms. Semane, Mr. Pukula, Ms. Sitole, and myself. Thank you very much. And now we're going to move to item number 21, which is item number 21, ESCOM Motraco. And again, we are going to call upon Mr. Pukula. So sorry, Mr. Rulan Machebula.
Thank you, Chair.
Chair, you know, I worked on the Motraco thing, but that was way there, not now.
Apologies.
All right. Thanks, Chair, and we appreciate again the opportunity. Chair, we received correspondence from ESCOM, Chair, talking about this alignment on their contract.
Chairperson, my apologies for coming in. I am not sure whether this is the matter that we're supposed to discuss under governance or not. If we can just confirm that from Mr. Mabunda. Thank you, Chairperson. Just before we proceed. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Mabunda, can we get a response from you?
Thank you, Chair. I think I will align with Madam Maseti. This sounds like the matter that needs to be ventilated under governance. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. We'll then discuss this under governance, the ESCOM Motraco. So with that note, then, can I request that we go back to item number 18, which is for the trading licenses. And once again, we are going to call upon Mr. Rolando Machebula.
Yeah, Chair. The aim of this submission, Chairperson, was for subcommittee members to note the amendments to the trading license implementation by the FTRM. This obviously follows the standing instruction of the approved subcommittee delegation matrix, which allows the full-time regulator member responsible for electricity, Chair, to consider these matters. The details of the specific licenses that were considered, Chair, are listed under Table 2. And Chairperson, maybe just to allow the author of the report to maybe add some detail before we consider the recommendations and also take questions. I would ask Ms. Njoku to just take the members through some of the silent points, if there are any. Thanks.
Sorry, before we ask Ms. Njoku to come in, we moved this item to this place. I think because Ms. Maseti mentioned that there might be some members who might want to recuse themselves. So I'm just checking, is there any member who wants to recuse themselves or not? If there's no hands up, then there's no recusals. Okay, I see Mr. Pukula. Mr. Pukula, you can come in. I see your hand is up.
Chairperson, in this case, let me recuse myself. Don't know if I'm conflicted because I don't know what the submission talks about, but I think the mere mention of trading, maybe let me recuse myself. Thank you, Chair.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Pukula.
Yes, Chair, it deals with the amendments also of Power X and on the trading aspects. Thanks, Chair.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Maseti, for that clarification. And Mr. Pukula has recused himself. And so can we proceed with the presentation? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. All right. As I indicated, I will ask Ms. Njoku to proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Mr. Matabula. You have already covered almost everything that is in the submission. The FTRM has already actioned the applications from different traders where they were adding, removing customers and generators as detailed in Table 2. And that the authority is derived from the ELS delegation metric clause 126, and it also complies with one of the license conditions stating that the trader shall provide NESA with the agreements entered into with suppliers and consumers listed in Schedule 2 and 3 before any trading commences. So we have attached also a sample of one of the memos that were sent to the FTRM as well as the letter to the licensees after being implemented by the full-time regulator member as Appendix A for reference purposes. It is recommended that the Electricity Subcommittee notes the FTRM implemented amendments to the trading licenses in Schedules 2 and 3 in terms of Clause 5G of the Electricity Subcommittee delegation metrics standing instructions as detailed in Table 1. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. So I'm now going to ask the members of the regulator if they've got any questions or more contributions. Thank you. All right, I do not see any hands up. So we are now going to move towards voting for the recommendation, whereby it is recommended that the Electricity Subcommittee notes so sorry, I've opened the wrong page here again. Let me just go back to just apologies for that. Reading number 18. Apologies for that. Yes, we are now going to look at the recommendation and vote on it. It is recommended that the ELS knows the FTRM's implementation of the amendments to the trading licenses, Schedules 2 and 3, in terms of Clause 5G of the Electricity Subcommittee delegation matrix standing instruction, as detailed in Table 1. So I see some hands there. Ms. Maseti.
We're on the voting, Chair, yes.
Are we voting now? Okay, sorry. All right.
Yes,
Ms.
you are on
Maseti.
the voting, Chair.
Thank you. I see Ms. Maseti voting, Mr. Mkize, Ms. Semane, Ms. Sitole, and myself. Thank you very much. So on that note, then we have now come to the point where we have exhausted the agenda items that basically is open to the public. So I would like to thank all the members of the public that were present via the link for coming to participate and to listen to the proceedings. I think public participation is very, very important. And therefore, we must thank the members of the public for having tuned in to this proceedings. So on that note, then, we are now going to close this to the public, and